Is there anything more chilling than knowing that 135,000 people are being forced to fight against their own nation, with their lives hanging by a thread? Imagine brave souls marching under relentless shelling and the watchful eyes of drones, where survival seems nothing more than a distant hope. This is the harrowing reality of the ongoing conflict. As autumn descends, Russia continues its assault, pushing soldiers from Motocyklov to Danilov-Sturmovikov, pushing them to the brink of despair. Ukraine stands resilient, yet the turmoil intensifies. The Kremlin's announcement of a new military campaign appears to be a heartless betrayal of those pressed into service. For many, this isn't mobilization, it's a cruel game of numbers, sacrificing lives for a war that holds no purpose. In the Kharkiv region, the offensive in Kupiansky doesn't pause. Ukrainian defenders fight tooth and nail to guard their homes and cities, even as the enemy lays siege. The words of a soldier named Zambria echo the struggle. Holding the line is an uphill battle against seemingly endless waves of attackers. She reports on the grim dynamics at play. The territory, previously seized in the 2022 counteroffensive, has now become a stronghold under continuous threat. Troops, mostly unarmored, brave the elements day and night, pressing onward despite the overwhelming odds. Once equipped with heavy machinery like armored personnel carriers and tanks, the Russian forces have been reduced to desperate infantry tactics, as their once mighty vehicles lay wrecked and silent. Now, they dispatch small groups. Mere shadows of the former forces, 2 to 3 soldiers are sent to face the Ukrainian defenders, often isolated and without cover. It's a reckless strategy, one that leads to futile deaths in the relentless pursuit of an unattainable goal. Across the battlefield, Ukrainian guerrilla fighters adapt quickly, striking from behind, aiming to cripple the enemy's logistics instead of merely engaging at the front lines. Their drones, like vultures circling, swoop in and out, identifying and obliterating supply lines before the enemy can mobilize. As autumn shifts the landscape, challenges arise. Fallen leaves make camouflage almost impossible, revealing positions to aerial reconnaissance. Yet the battlefield is a mirror, the same risks that threaten one side endanger the other, leading to a tactical race of wits and ingenuity. As Zambria notes, this war has transformed over 2 years, tactics, technology, and strategy evolve daily. Every crossing of the Askal River harbors its dangers. Ukrainian divisions remain vigilant, defending their hard-won positions against both numbers and the machinations of an unyielding foe. With each forward step by Russian forces, Ukrainian countermeasures adapt and intensify. The specter of another catastrophic offensive looms, while across occupied territories, men grapple with the reality of being thrust into a conflict they never wished to join. And yet, in these moments, hope flickers. Those caught in the web of coercion are urged to resist, to seek freedom even at the peril of the unknown. The watchful eyes of warfare see a grim reality. The conflict is relentless and deadly, as Russia throws its human resources, vital lives, against the wall of Ukrainian defense. This struggle is grim, with countless soldiers experiencing night after night of combat. Picture the chilling stillness punctuated only by the sounds of distant artillery and the whir of drones overhead, as these young men face overwhelming odds with a grim determination to survive. In the dire situation at Kupiansk, soldiers are isolated, navigating treacherous conditions on the opposite bank of the river Askal. A mere handful remaining, often just 2 or 3 individuals press forth into the chaos, attempting to push the front. The air is thick with tension, as each step forward could be their last. Waves of assaults come like clockwork, day and night. The relentless tide of battle seems mechanical, driven by necessity rather than strategy. Ukrainian forces, ever nimble, become ghosts in the shadows. With each drone buzzing overhead, they execute their orders, not to clash head-on but to strike at the enemy's lifeblood. It's a calculated campaign, focusing on supply routes and the essential machinery of war before it reaches the front line. Despite their overwhelming human resources, the enemy falters. They send waves of troops, but each advance only serves as an invitation for Ukrainian intelligence to decimate their ranks. The sound of explosions echoes through the valleys, a haunting reminder of the stakes. In contrast, the Ukrainian forces adapt and innovate, constantly shifting their tactics, learning from each encounter. It is a battlefield where technology reigns supreme, a chess match where each piece must be moved with intention and foresight. As autumn blankets the land, the challenges multiply. Fallen leaves strip the camouflage from fortifications, exposing positions to aerial surveillance. The landscape morphs as fear is palpable, vulnerabilities rise like smoke, and every rustle can betray a position. Yet with each adaptation, both sides struggle in the ever-thickening fog of war, a dynamic game of predator and prey, where life hangs in a delicate balance. Hope lingers as change fills the air. Amidst the chaos, the essence of survival ignites a battle of wits. The ground shakes with the force of each unfolding day, and the urgency builds as the months advance. How long can the balance sustain itself before the dam breaks? What alternative fates await those who make choices within this destructive chessboard of terror and survival? Each moment stretches, gripping tightly to the uncertainty of what lies ahead. As the autumn leaves begin to fall, fresh challenges arise on the battlefield. The change of season transforms the landscape, stripping away the cover for both soldiers and their machinery. Once hidden positions become starkly visible from the sky. The delicate balance of camouflage is tipped, making survival even more precarious. How will soldiers navigate this treacherous terrain when every tree, every field, every shadow could spell danger? Zambria expresses the importance of being one step ahead in the military game. Survival in these trying times comes not just from weapons and technology but from intuition and strategy. It's a realm where skill and instinct intertwine in a constant battle for dominance. The Ukrainian troops have proven resilient, managing to fortify their positions amidst relentless attacks and persisting efforts to undermine the enemy's logistics. Day after day, drones soar overhead, engaged in a dance of aerial warfare, while the ground trembles with the thunder of artillery exchanges. Each night shifts into a strategic retreat, as columns regroup and reassess. This is not merely a war fought along defined fronts, it is an unyielding pressure cooker that keeps the flames of conflict burning continuously. With the arrival of the autumn season, the term autumn offensive has taken on a chilling new meaning. Russia's declaration of an aggressive campaign from October to December targets an astounding 135,000 individuals in occupied territories, including those from regions like Crimea and Donetsk. Many of these individuals, forced into a fray against their homeland, find themselves amidst a tragic paradox. They are requisitioned into service, an act that contravenes human rights frameworks and international treaties. In Kiev, there is a grave urgency in warning these citizens of the human cost of such mobilization. The path set by Moscow is not only unlawful but morally reprehensible. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry voices its discontent with diplomatic firmness, asserting that participation in this forced enlistment solidifies complicity in what can only be termed a crime against humanity. Caught in this web, countless people confront impossible choices. Many issue desperate calls for escape, seeking avenues through which they can avoid being cast into a conflict that offers no respite, no hope of survival. Their plight resonates deeply against the backdrop of a war that has gradually evolved into a chaotic symphony of despair. As the men of these territories strive to evade mobilization, the tactics of warfare become mere ciphers for suffering, loss, and devastation. Where is the path forward? In the shadows of the previous conflict, we saw how Russia's mobilization turns ordinary people into unwitting criminals. They use them as human cannon fodder. No training, just hurled into the meat grinder. Kiev urges those in occupied territories to dodge this draft by any means. Now, the darkness deepens, as even the coerced face impossible choices. Can you picture the cold steel of despair gripping a young soul in Crimea? The acrid stench of forced loyalty fills the air, where propaganda's hollow words echo like distant thunder. Yet beneath it all, whispers of rebellion stir. Imagine hearing the low rumble of planes overhead, not as symbols of glory, but of desperate escapes from Moscow's grip. For those shoved into Russia's new autumn offensive, from October 1st to December 31st of 2025, survival means more than just dodging bullets. It's a race against chains that bind their own blood. Kiev's call rings true: if pressured into this sham army, surrender to Ukrainian forces. Choose life over a puppet's death. Savor the taste of freedom as Ukrainian troops offer refuge. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs warns those in ancestral Ukrainian lands, Kuban, Belgorod, Bryansk, Kursk, Voronezh, Rostovskaya in Russia, against waging war on their heritage. Your roots cry out against this betrayal. The ministry threatens justice, documenting every illegal act. Each mobilized? A war crime in waiting. Every deported or dead under supervision? Futuristic evidence for tribunals. Russia's grip slips, its army drained, population weary. Occupied zones suffocate under tyranny. No liberty breathes there. Men scramble to evade drafts or defect via Ukrainian lines. Many grasp the grim fate, hurled into senseless slaughter. Desertions spike, folks from Luhansk, Donetsk, even Crimea flee by plane or foot to evade Moscow's lethal orders. In Crimea, the strain's unbearable. Propaganda drones on about duty and honor, but fear's cold fingers clutch hearts, breeding silent despair. Can Moscow halt this mayhem? Victory's a mirage, unattainable. Every seasonal call seeks to patch frontline voids with reluctant bodies. In occupied areas, small squads of 2 or 3 charge forward, exposed, unshielded, doomed, ordered to die without strategy or hope. Chaos reigns, not tactics. Ukrainian forces stand firm, surgically dismantling Russian supply chains. But their true victory? Blocking more souls from this endless, futile abyss. What hidden fractures will shatter the oppressor's facade next? Feel the earth tremble under boots of the unwilling, as fate's blade hangs poised. Imagine the relentless grind of war, where soldiers charge into a hail of bullets, artillery screams overhead, and drones buzz like angry wasps. Russia hurls wave after wave of infantry toward Ukrainian lines, from the desolate stretches near Motocyklov to the brutal grounds of Dadonok-Sturmovikov. It's a suicidal dash for glory that Ukraine staunchly repels, defying the clear skies and endless assaults. Amid this chaos, the